Rubio on all my folders. I answered to Rubio just like the stranger my father must be doing somewhere. When my mom seemed to want me to do, to hold on to the name without the man, felt very silly to me, like the cartoon where Wile E. Coyote holds onto the handle, just the handle, of an exploded suitcase, latching into pure space. The Scarecrow boy was my same height, 5'5". He was a funny hybrid. He had a doll's wax head, with glass eyes and sculpted features, but a scarecrow's body, sackcloth under the jeans and the sweater. Pillowy, machine-sewn limbs stuffed with straw. I took a step forward and punched the torso, which was solid as a hay bale. I half expected a scream to roll out of his mouth. Now I understood Mondo's earlier wail. When the doll didn't make a sound, I wanted to scream for him. Who stuck those on its face? Mondo asked. Those eyes. Whoever put him here in the first place, jackass. Well, what weirdo does that? Puts eyes and clothes on a giant doll of a kid roped into a tree. A Japanese, said Gus knowingly. One of those sicko sex freaks. Mondo rolled his eyes. I know, we're really good. Mondo rolled his eyes. Maybe you tied it up, Hainsworth. Maybe he's a theater prop, like from our school. He is wearing some nasty clothes. Hey, he's got a belt like yours, Rubby. Fuck you. Wait, you're gonna steal the Scarecrow's belt? That ain't bad luck? Oh my God, he's got on underwear. Mondo snapped the elastic, giggling. He has a hole, Juan Carlos said quietly. He slid his hand between the doll's sagging shoulders in the tree. Down here, in his back. Look, he's spilling. Juan Carlos began jerking stuffing out of the Scarecrow, and then, in the same panicky motion, cramming it back inside the hole. All this he did with a sly, aghast look, as if he were a surgeon who had fatally bungled an operation and was now trying to disguise that fact from his staff. The straw, I recognized with a chill, was fresh and green. You got your old shit face on, JC, Gus laughed. I managed to laugh too, but I was scared. The crisp straw was scary to me. A terrible sweetness lifted out of the doll, that stench you are supposed to associate with innocent things. Zoos and pet stores, pony rides. He was stuffed to the springs of his eyeballs. Put it all back, Juan, and maybe we'll be okay. You dudes, do scarecrows have fingers? Mondo giggled again and held out the doll's white hand very formally, as if it were suddenly in a cummerbund accompanying the Scarecrow to the world's scariest prom. The hand dangled heavily from the doll's stapled sleeve. It looked like a plaster cast with 5 slender fingers. The boy's face was molded out of this same white material. His features weren't generic, like a mall mannequin's, but crooked, odd, very skillfully misshapen. Based on somebody's real face, I thought, like the famous dummies in the Wax Museum. Somebody you were supposed to recognize. The longer I stared at him, the less real I myself felt. Was I the only one who remembered his name? Weird. His face is cold. Juan Carlos slid a finger down the wax nose. What the fuck, he's wearing hoops. Gus knelt to show us a pair of black sneaker toes peeking out from the Scarecrow's cuffs. Excuse me. At school, we made a point of stealing hoops from any kids stupid enough to wear them.